Let me bring in, we've got Shell Bhatnagar with us, we've got Sakshi Batra with us. Sakshi, just looking at individual stocks or pockets also that are likely to be impacted between exporters, agri-exporters, for instance, textile exporters, a whole, whole breadth of the market is reeling from the uncertainty and tension right now.
Absolutely, Abha, you're right. The markets are set to open with major cuts. Nifty below 24,700. All major stocks are going to be trading in the red in the oil and gas space, barring the ONGC and Oil India, which are the upstream companies. Look at the downstream companies. It's going to be all across red. Export-oriented sectors are going to be taking a beating. There could be some green light on the defense stocks. We have seen in the past wars as well that it's the defense-oriented stocks that have lifted. We have seen recovery from their lows as well, but they're still far away from their all-time high levels. That's where some peaking action could come in. I'm looking at HAL and Bharat Electronics again at this point in time, even though the index is pointing out a 0.5% downtick, at least at this point. The problem with the PSU defense stocks in India is that they have already lifted far ahead of expectations because their execution is a problem. But at this point in time, we have constantly seen how the Indian government is banking on the domestic exports. They've time and again talked about how they are going to be manufacturing made in India. At this point in time, everybody has been betting big on defense orders. We've been seeing in the last 6 months how many crores of orders have flown in for all these companies. So these are going to be the stocks in focus for sure. But oil stocks are going to be down. Look at the gold finances. They're going to be in focus again. Remember, in the focus areas of war, whenever we've seen gold and silver prices again spike, and that's where the gold financiers, Muthoot Finance, Manappuram Finance, these are the stocks that are going to be seeing again a peak. People are going to go and grab all these stocks as well. But I'm looking at some of the other export-oriented stocks that are going to be taking a beating yet again with this disruption.
I'm just going to take a look at the opening bell as well. We've got Nifty down about 1%, 24,908 on the index. Sensex at about 80,000. Nifty mid-cap index down about 2% right now. Clearly, the market is skewed towards declines. The entire market is in a sea of red right now. Maybe just a handful of names in the green. Otherwise, it is red completely. And Gaurav, you started this. You kicked off with saying the markets don't like uncertainty. They definitely don't like uncertainty. They don't like any kind of nervousness at all. And we're seeing that in the kind of selling pressure that we have across the board this morning. Let me take a look at aviation stocks, for instance. We've got huge pressure on them. Global aviation stocks, in fact, are reeling. Back home as well, we're going to be seeing pressure on that front. Let's also take a look at some of the exporters, pull that up, the oil marketing companies, that's where pressure is going to be building up. Interglobe is down 5%, as you can see there on your screen. The India VIX is just spiraling right now. India VIX is up 10-12% as we see it right now in trade, given the kind of volatility that's anticipated. Remember, this is a situation that no one knows how it's going to continue. Right now, we've got Trump saying the intensity of attacks could continue for 4 to 6 weeks, and Gaurav will, of course, be able to give us more insight into that. But we've got news coming in on that front. We've got Iran, of course, starting to, attack across the region, and that's leading a whole lot of uncertainty and nervousness as well. So the VIX is up. We've got countries retaliating, saying that they will not be standing for this. So Gaurav, it looks like a complete hotbed at this point of time. So it's not just the attack that happened on the weekend, but it's the continuing uncertainty right now that's keeping markets completely hammered.
Look, whatever happens, everyone expects places like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, this entire region, it's been seen as an oasis of peace. There's been conflict in the region, but they've remained oasis of peace. However, if I look at the little silver lining that Sakshi was also mentioning, even in Japan, when you look at the tension, well, Mitsubishi, defense-related stocks, they are going up. That's something that India is also looking at. India has been supplying ammunition to certain countries during conflict. India has also been looking at export of other military hardware in other conflict zones. So yes, as Sakshi very rightly pointed out, Abha, that Indian defense stocks, India is looking at being a major arms exporter from being a net arms importer. Now this is where quality plays a very big role, when you talk about HAL stocks or when you talk about ammunition manufacturing in India or radar manufacturing in India. Armenia is looking at it. Several other countries are looking at it. BrahMos is a success story. So that is where we need to see, is there a silver lining? And otherwise, a very, very gloomy picture. And longer this persists, there's only day 3, but the longer this persists, the more alarming the situation could be, Abha.
All right, so defense, gold and silver on your screen. Clearly, precious metals always react well at this point of time. Safe haven buying, so that's why we're seeing that. And of course, all the ETFs running on the back of it as well. Ajay Baga joining us this morning. Ajay, what was the market anticipating? And do you feel, considering that we've actually seen some amount of recovery from the immense fall we initially saw in pre-open, that markets may stabilize? Or how nervously are you tracking what's happening right now?
Yeah, but this is the pattern we saw in the morning when Australia opened, when Tokyo opened. We saw a very sharp correction, and then we saw some buying coming in. And that's what's happened in India. The pre-open was pointing to a very sharp correction, more than 3.5%. And now we are seeing some buying coming, and the markets are stabilizing. So I think the worst has got baked in. As per the situation right now. What the markets are really looking at, oil is a transmission mechanism into the Indian market. So if the oil prices continue to go up, that becomes a big threat to our markets, to our rupee, to our current account deficit. Every $10 rise in the oil price from here means nearly a 30-40 basis point increase in our current account deficit. Nearly a 40 basis point increase in our consumer inflation. So these are very pertinent points.
Sure.
The best
Ajay, I want to understand from you, because there are some, brokerages or market voices who say that maybe take advantage of the correction, possibly as valuations start to look better, it may be the right time to also enter. Would you take that call, or is everyone trying to understand how deep these cuts are going to go, given that we don't have clarity on the ongoing situation?
Yeah, that uncertainty is the big issue. This is not the time to buy. I would really say that this is right now, it's looking like a prolonged kind of event. The good news is today, this morning, Trump, while talking to New York Times, said that he will remove sanctions if the Iranian leadership, the new Iranian leader, proves to be pragmatic. The Iranian foreign minister said, we don't want to block the Strait of Hormuz. But the reality is that the strait is blocked right now. So no ship is going through, no tanker going through. That means 20 million barrels of oil are not flowing through since yesterday into the global economy. It won't make an impact immediately, but the price is showing you the impact. So after 3-4 days, you will start seeing the weakness coming more sharper in the market. So not the time to buy. Time to sit on the sidelines. Let this event play out. Hopefully, the new Israeli leaders will choose survival over ideology. And that will be the point then to buy, not right now.
All right, Ajay, thanks so much for joining us. All about oil, Gaurav, for the markets, and really waiting to see how this situation plays out.
Abha and Ajay, many thanks for joining me. Sakshi will also stay with us as we continue to take this coverage forward.